There is corruption happening in the Indian domestic cricket. It needs your attention, and over the next few minutes, we will point by point tell you how exactly is it that this racket is operating. Of course, it's happening under the nose of the concerned state cricket board. Of course, it's happening very much under the eyes of the BCCI as well. No action being taken as yet, but let's go ahead and tell you what exactly is this corruption all about. It starts in the state of Puducherry, but before I get into the finer details, a huge shout out to the folks at the Indian Express for putting this story out. Now let's start by telling you what exactly is happening in the state of Puducherry. Now, did you know that over the last 4 years, only 5 Puducherry-born players have played cricket for their state cricket, and that in this Ranji season, no local player has featured in any of Puducherry matches. So where exactly are the players coming from? This must be the question on your mind. We'll go ahead and tell you where these players are coming from, because clearly these are not players that are born in Puducherry but are very well going ahead and representing the state cricket team, and not just one team, multiple teams. Remember, you play under 19 cricket, you play under 23 cricket. There are so many competitions that a state team takes part in. Not a lot of local players getting the opportunity, but who is it that's taking all those opportunities? These are players that are coming from outside, because Puducherry is outsourcing players. Outsourcing players and outsiders, in fact, are paying money to feature in the team. And who's involved over there? The main character in this story is perhaps the coaches in the domestic cricket. The domestic coaches are demanding up to rupees 1.2 lakh as bribe, because they go ahead and pave the way for the outsiders to come and take those opportunities, which should perhaps rightly, in fact, be belonging to the local players. But the local players can't do much, because these positions in the Puducherry team are being given at about a lakh and a half to players that are coming from outside. I'll tell you how exactly is the system really working out. Take a look at this infographic that I have for you. Now, coaches approach outside players. Outsiders who struggling to get a place in their state team are made contact with by coaches from Puducherry, and then they go ahead and demand up to rupees 1.5 lakh as bribe. In those 1.5 lakh rupees that these coaches take, they provide fake documents, fake identity cards are produced, fake Aadhaar cards are produced, fake educational certificates are produced, fake residence proofs are also produced, and outsider players then end up making it to the squad and replacing the local players. This is how the syndicate works. I get in touch with players who want an opportunity from other state boards, not caring much about what happens in my own state of Puducherry, but Puducherry coaches are getting in touch with the players, demanding money, producing all those documents, and then those players who are paying all this money, circumventing the rules, are making their way into the squad. What is the BCCI eligibility criteria in all of this? Why exactly the need for this 1.5 lakh bribe? Why exactly the need to create these fake document chains? Let's get into that. The answer to that is that an outstation cricketer qualifies as a state player if there is proof of a year's employment in the region. Coaches help produce such documents. What coaches also help you do is they also produce fake education course certificates as well from the previous calendar year if you want to apply for the upcoming season. It could be anything. It could be the upcoming Ranji season. It could be the upcoming SMAT season. What coaches do is they produce backdated educational certificates from private institutions. Some names have been published in that web copy as well, in that copy that's in the papers as well, that the Indian Express has published. Some of those institutes have also been named, and what coaches also do is they produce fake residential certificates as well, because that's also one of the eligibility criteria, that you need to prove that you've been staying in that state for about a year. It's because of these regulations that this entire syndicate was formed, so that you can circumvent these rules, so that you can bypass these rules and you can represent, you get a chance to play for another state. How is the how exactly is it that the eligibility rule was flouted? Let's go step by step on that. Take a look at this particular example. 17 local, and this is actually what has happened. 17 local cricketers from 8 states who are part of various cricket association of Puducherry squads share one Aadhaar card address at Motilal Nagar. This is just one of the many examples. Just one of the many examples. This is for all those of you who've been following the news as well about fake Aadhaar cards being produced, about how perhaps elections are being rigged as well. Take exactly that example in mind, and that is what is happening in Indian cricket as well. Imagine you go to this one address, and this is what's happened over here. 17 people with the same address on their Aadhaar card. Backdated admissions in private educational institutions, as just touched upon as well. You need to prove that you have some sort of an educational background as well, or you've been studying in that particular state to qualify as a player of that state. Backdated admission certificates are then produced, and what also gets done is fake jobs, because you need to prove, as I said, you need to show employment as well, proof of 1 year's employment, because that's one of the eligibility criteria. Fake job certificates are produced, fake jobs. Those are non-existing jobs at times. They're just produced in by the name of anonymous private entities, and those fake certificates are then produced. Now, why do the cricketers feel the need to pay the bribe? They need to pay that bribe because you get sports quota jobs in various private as well as public sector undertakings. Many units, public sector units as well, you have these jobs where cricketers have a quota. There is a sports quota that many entities have, including both private and public. It helps you get one of those jobs. Players can also, remember, this is another big incentive, players can also earn up to rupees 11.2 lakh a season just by match fee alone. And this is, by the way, the 11.2 lakh number that we're quoting is just basic those 6-7 Ranji Trophy group matches that you may play. If a team goes ahead and goes all the way to the final, let's say, this number swells even more. And lastly, players find an opportunity to make a case for IPL. There are players being selected basis their performances in domestic cricket. That is something we know. Be it SMAT, be it Ranji, there is now the Puducherry team that has managed to elevate itself as a cricketing unit now. Players get noticed when they play for a particular state during the Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy. IPL teams keep an eye on that. The world keeps an eye on that. And this becomes then a huge incentive for players to then be enrolling, somehow finding a way to get into Puducherry cricket so that they get noticed and get picked by an IPL team. Now, who's behind all of this? Let's answer that question for you, because this can't just happen on its own. There has to be some sort of support from within. Guess what? That support comes from this man, P. Damodaran. He is the man responsible, whose name has come in this particular investigation. In fact, it's the second or the third time in a few months that his name has come in this scam that's been going on. He is the founder of the Cricket Association of Puducherry. He's previously served as the association secretary but resigned back in 2018 due to conflict of interest. At that time, his son was playing. That's why there was a conflict of interest. Although he cited personal reasons for him to be stepping down from that particular position, but there was a conflict of interest that also came to the fore. He's also served as a state cricket nominee for BCCI meetings that take place involving all state associations. As far as his profession is concerned, he is the owner of a wires and cables company. So this is the state of Puducherry cricket. This just tells you what exactly is going wrong in state cricket at the moment. It's just one story that's come to the fore. There have been allegations made in the past as well of many other states, but this is such a turn-off, this is such a letdown for both you and I, people who believe in domestic cricket, people who believe in the BCCI, to be giving us exactly the talent for Indian cricket that deserves to be out there, but so many people being stripped of that opportunity because there are others who are claiming it by giving bribes. People responsible for this, must be taken to task, justice must be done, and investigation must be ordered. We again would like to give courtesy to the Indian Express for pulling off this phenomenal investigative piece, and we hope, as I said, that justice be done and there is serious action, strict action, the most stringent of it all, that gets taken against those who are responsible behind this whole mess. Give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today if you like what we do over here.